Hey folks, it's Nate. Here we go with another QuickCast. Hey folks, it's Monday, and I'm trying to do at least some sort of video for you guys weekly. So on weeks when I'm not in the garage, or on the trails, or have any decent footage to give you guys, I figured I would fill in with a QuickCast, because it's something I can do just about any day on my commute. And I'm always full of opinions I can share with you guys. I don't know if you guys enjoy these QuickCasts or not, but whatever. I like making them. I've been thinking actually about pulling the audio out of these QuickCasts and make them into a little podcast too. So I don't know if anybody has any interest in that, if that would be a better way to consume this, because let's face it, there's not a lot of visual content in this except looking at me driving. It's just not that interesting, right? So, I don't know, I might do that, I might not. If I do, I might start with this episode. Who knows? You'll be able to subscribe to that over at SWBCrawler.com. Once I do that, I'll get it syndicated on things like iTunes and Google and wherever else. I will have some sort of announcement if I do that, so don't go looking for that if I haven't said so. I did do a thing I was calling the QuickCast for a short time, where first it was a podcast I recorded similar to how I record these QuickCasts, and then it was just sort of a re-release of content that I was submitting to the Jeep Talk Show, but that's sort of fallen to the wayside. This, I mean, if I'm making these anyway for the YouTube audience, I could easily pull the audio out and do that for an audio-only podcast. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm hoping to get in the garage, like I said in the last QuickCast, to do at least some of the Clayton off-road control arm work. Like I said, step one is going to be to go over all the arms and clean them up and make sure all the joints are in good shape. I think I mentioned in the last QuickCast that I've already looked at the joints, and I found, I think, 3 of them that should probably be replaced. They're just a little too loose for my liking. All the other ones are nice and tight. There's also some rubber bushings in these, which are similar to the stock control arm bushings. Those all look like they're in pretty good shape. I know that the arms were only used for a few years, but they were used almost entirely off-road, so I don't know how many miles they actually have on them. Enough that some of the Johnny joints are worn, but not so much that the rubber joints appear to be worn. So that should hopefully make things a little easier. Make these in a little better condition than the RE Rubicon Express arms that I have on now, which are just flat out beat. I mean, the guy who gave them to me, I know him, I wheel with him. They were just kind of laying around his garage as spares, and him and his wife both wheel. I forget if these came off of his rig or his wife's rig, but they are both wheeled hard, very hard. One of these arms it almost looks like a little bit of a frowny face. It's not to the point where it's an unusable arm, but it's definitely got an upward arc to it. The jam nuts on the control arms, on the rear ones especially, one side of the jam nut is just rounded off from all the times it's contacted rocks and been scraped over things. One of the joints, I mean, I had to rebuild, I should say. Like, one of the joints, there's these polyurethane bushings that surround a ball, and that's what the bolt goes through. One of them, the polyurethane was just destroyed. I had to get all new polyurethane for it. The rest of them, I got the Rubicon Express joint tool, which is this special, rebuild tool. I got that, and I disassembled the joints, and I just cleaned them up really good inside, greased them really good, and they're in pretty good shape. It turns out that one of them, I found out when I was installing them, the ball on the inside, while the joint was in okay shape, the ball on the inside, the flange on the outer edge of it, where the bolt goes through, is like chipped and broken, like They're just not in great shape. They're working okay, but they're not in great shape. Coffee. The Clayton arms, on the other hand, are in pretty good shape. The guy I got them from, well, I mentioned before, he's the guy that runs off-road consulting. So they've been wheeled, and his Jeep, I don't know that he drives it on the road pretty much at all, except maybe to get to the trailhead, similar to what I do with my LJ. So they haven't seen a lot of street miles that I'm aware of, but they've seen a lot of off-road miles. I mean, he wheels his Jeep probably every day. I don't know how much work he gets during the week, but I know on the weekends he's out every single weekend. That's his job. It's his business. It's what he does, which is cool. I mean, it's a pretty cool gig. I've been working for him, doing guided trail rides mainly for a while now, 6-8 months maybe. I think around like last October, November, or whatever is when I officially started. So it's good. It's good work, and it's enjoyable. But anyway, my point is they've seen a lot of off-road miles, and he doesn't beat his stuff, so I feel like they should be decent. You see the guys moving a couch behind me? That's pretty cool. Couch movers made it into the video. I like loading those things into a dumpster. There's like all kinds of furniture. I wonder what's going on there. Some house that's been trashed. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, the arms are in pretty good shape, except for these joints that are a little worn out. So I'm going to get them fixed. I'm going to do a video on fixing them. But I think I have enough good arms to do the front. I think I mentioned that in the last video too. And I'm hoping to maybe do that as early as this coming weekend. Maybe on Sunday. Saturday I have my nephew's birthday party. So, you know, life gets in the way of my Jeeping habit. It's not good. But at any rate, I want to try to get them done as quickly as possible, especially because the Jeep Jamboree is coming up the first weekend in August, and I want to get the front arms, the front Rubicon Express arms off before then if I can, because they are really noisy, and I've tried tightening everything up under there and it doesn't seem to help, and that it just doesn't make me feel good. I don't know if it's one of the joints I missed or if something's wrong. I just don't like the amount of noise I get out of it. I really want to get under there and remove those arms and really inspect everything. And I figure if I'm removing them to inspect everything, I may as well go to the Clayton arms while I'm at it. So that may happen. I may not have time. I don't know. We'll see. One of the things I really want to do before I put them in is get all new hardware. So I was thinking, oh, well, I'll just look up the stock hardware, go to Lowe's or something, or Fastenal, and get nuts, bolts, you know, hardware. Good enough, right? Then it occurred to me, they're Clayton arms. It's obvious they're Clayton arms. I want to give you guys the best information possible, and I want Clayton to look good for the channel, right? I don't want you guys to think that they're crap because of something I did and I wasn't forthcoming about. So I think what I'm going to do is reach out to Clayton and just flat out say, hey, look, I got these arms and I want to rebuild them and I want to clean them up and I want to install them on my Jeep, and what information can you give me so I'm not only giving my viewers the best information but also getting the proper information out for anybody who's looking for information on Clayton arms. So I'm going to try to do that this week, and I'm hoping they can also give me specs on what Johnny Joint rebuild kits I need to buy to fix up the Johnny joints, because they're two different sizes, and, well, to be honest, I just don't know what sizes to buy. I don't know if they come in more than two sizes. If they do, it's going to get confusing, and I'd rather just get the proper information right from Clayton if I can. And who knows, maybe they'll throw in a t-shirt or something since I run a YouTube channel. I don't know. I try not to leverage the channel in such a way that vendors feel obligated to give me things, but I certainly appreciate when they do. So at any rate, that's hopefully what's coming up. I got to go out guiding this past weekend. That's a lot of fun. Like I've said in the past, I I generally don't get to record much video when I'm guiding, even though I think if I could manage that along with the general act of guiding, I think it might be a fun video. But, you know, there's a couple things at play there. One, these are customers that I'm guiding, and putting them on a YouTube video, they may be fine with that. I don't know, there could be complications there, I don't know. And the other thing is that it's my responsibility to give them the good time off-road, not generate content for my YouTube channel. So I feel like to be respectful of them, and you know what, the product they've purchased, which is, you know, a guided trail ride, and to be respectful of my employer, I feel like recording a video while I'm doing that might be dividing my attention and could, I don't know, could potentially be a bad thing. So I just generally don't do that. It might be fun to do that though, I don't know. Maybe someday. A bird almost just flew into my car. That would have been an interesting thing to catch on video, but it didn't happen. So that's about it for updates and status and whatnot, what's happening with the channel and what's happening with me. I don't know how much you guys care about all that stuff, but you can look forward to new content. I keep saying that, I know. I promise, I'm going to get back in the garage. Summer is just busy for me, and it kind of sucks because it's a great time to be in the garage working on stuff because it's not too cold, sometimes it's too hot, but whatever. So yeah, that's updates. So last week, I spent some time on the defensive regarding one of my videos. It's the internet, you know, everyone's got their own opinions. If you haven't seen it already, you can go watch it. I'll put a link wherever, I think it's like up there, the link goes. I'll put a card that'll link you over to it. But I did a video in January, I think it was, about spotting. And, you know, guiding and spotting, generally. And I had shared it as a response to someone's video on Facebook where he was also talking about spotting. And he apparently has a very different opinion on what spotting should be than I do. And I found myself sort of defending my video. Looking back, I don't know if it was worth defending because it's the internet and you're not going to change anybody's opinion. It's just sort of like arguing about politics. You've got an opinion, people stick to it, right? Personally, I take other people's opinions into consideration. It seems like most people don't. But anyway, he was of the opinion that spotting is not good for the sport, I think, is really what I got out of our conversation. Because he feels like the driver's not really learning anything by being spotted. Now in the video, I sort of depict spotting as, you know, the spotter is in control, the driver is just to listen to the spotter. And I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. It came out that way. And even some of the commentary I put in there sort of suggests that. But what it comes down to is I should have put a caveat in there that spotting isn't a thing that you force drivers into. Spotting is a thing that if a driver asks to be spotted, you help them out. And that was my intention of the video. You know, if you're on the trail with someone, or if you're leading a group, or whatever, and you have a little more experience than the rest of the people in the group, or maybe you don't, but someone's asked you to give them an extra set of eyes, the video was intended to give you sort of a primer on what it is to be a spotter, so that you have a little more information going in, and also a little bit about when you're the driver and you've asked to be spotted, what you should be doing to listen to your spotter. So I don't know, I'm not even sure why I'm so thoughtful about this at this point, because it was literally just a passing argument on the internet, right? But like I said, I generally like to take people's opinions into consideration and figure out if I'm doing something right or wrong. Maybe I did come across incorrect in that spotting video. I can say that it's had a generally good, people have responded generally well to the video. This is the only guy I've run into that's disagreed with me. But I'm curious what you guys think. If you guys are watching this video and you haven't seen the spotting video, go over and watch it. And I'm not just doing this because I want the YouTube views. I'm genuinely curious. If you could watch the video and then either comment on this video or that video and let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that I have depicted it in a way that's the spotter is too controlling, or if you think I've done it wrong, or if you think I've done it right. I think the big difference between this guy and me is that we're in two different worlds. He's a good wheeler, from what I've seen from his videos and the way he talks. He called himself an off-road god, which I don't know if I'd call myself an off-road god. I'm just generally not that full of myself. He apparently is. But he's not a... I don't know how to put this without making the guy sound bad. He's not in it to teach people, where I kind of am, right? It's why I do what I do with this channel, and it's why I do what I do with off-road consulting. I like to encounter the newbie on the trail, or maybe not the newbie, but you know what I mean, the people that are excited about green trails and blue trails. I like to find those people and sort of help them through those early years where I didn't have anyone. I was just like trial and error. I had like basically the generation before me were of the opinion that if you had four-wheel drive, you shouldn't be using it to go out and get into trouble. You should be using it as a tool, right? And that changed somewhere in between. Like, people my parents' age, they, most of the time, there wasn't an off-road community then. Maybe there was, just not in my area. And so when I got into the sport, I had internet forums of people that were like me, maybe with a little more experience than me. I had, things like that to learn from, but it's hard to get experience from reading stuff on the internet, right? You can't be a web wheeler and expect to be a pro. I did build a really good informational base doing it that way, but my point is I didn't have anybody to learn the ropes from. I just went out and tried stuff. Got into trouble, broke things, missed work because I'm stuck in the mud on a mountain somewhere. All things that I don't recommend people doing. I mean, I do and I don't, right? Yeah, it's a great experience, but you could do it in a much more controlled way. And that's what places like Off-Road Consulting, that's the void they're filling right now. And it's what the Jeep Jamboree helps people learn. It's how it's you know. My point is that when I made that spotting video, I was coming at it from that perspective. That I am a guy that you're learning things from. Not, I'm just another guy on the trail who's helping you, who is already an experienced wheeler. And I don't think that came through well in the video. I think that a truly experienced off-roader who doesn't need turn-by-turn directions, he just needs a quick set of eyes at a certain moment because he can't see what's in front of him, that video may not apply, simply because, well, it might be too much, right? He may actually get less out of that level of spotting. He may be worse off, is what I mean. Because he already knows what he's doing, right? I mean, I wheel with some guys that can drive through black trails, like blindfolded. And for those folks, I don't try to spot because they don't need it. If they ask for, like, hey, what's that in front of my diff? I'll get out and, look, but it's not like a turn-by-turn, you don't know what you're doing sort of engagement. Anyway, I think I got the point across. But yeah, give me some feedback on that video, guys. Maybe YouTube doesn't let me change videos once they're uploaded, but Maybe I'll add a caveat to the description or something if enough people think that it's misleading. Maybe it's just this guy and he was looking for a fight. I don't know. I just don't want to portray things poorly. That's all. I don't want to portray things in the wrong light. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that video. I'd really appreciate some feedback. That's all. Alright, so I think we're going to call that quits for today. End of this video. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing here, give me, like the video, subscribe if you're not already. If you're watching this, you probably are already. If you want to help support my endeavors, you can do so via Patreon. Patreon.com/SWBCrawler. One hell of a big bird flying by. You can also support me and get some pretty neat off-roading apparel by visiting my Teespring shop. Teespring.com/store, I think, /store/SWBCrawler. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can get to it. Not really selling a lot of apparel, folks. Just gonna say that. I don't know if nobody likes my art. Whatever, I'm not an artist. I try though. So yeah, it'd be appreciated. However you want to support me is great. Give me feedback, give me comments, give me likes, give me dislikes, whatever you want to do to let me know what you want to see on the SWBCrawler channel. If you don't like this format, these QuickCasts, if you don't find them informative, let me know about that too, because I put some time into editing these things, and if it's something that people don't care about, I'm not going to put that time into it. So, yeah, I think we're going to call it a close for today. Thanks for watching, folks. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the pretty bell thing, because then you'll know when I post new ramblings like this one. So, awesome, guys. Have a great week.